All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of Canada Hoops. Thank you for your continued support. Please keep downloading and sharing us. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Our wonderful guest today represents Boise, Idaho. She just finished her career as a Boise High Brave, is a two-time Gatorade Player of the Year for the state of Idaho, a 2024 McDonald's All-American. She is set to start her career as a USC Trojan this upcoming season and just recently represented Canada at the 2024 Nike Hoop Summit. She is Avery Howell. Avery, thank you so much for joining us on Canada Hoops.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this, and it's cool because you've kind of maybe burst on the scene in terms of Canada basketball, and your roots and connections to Canada, which is super cool. A lot of us that follow the program excited to see that, and just you embracing that and representing Canada recently at the Hoop Summit. And how are things? Let our listeners know and your friends and family just kind of how things are going right now, and just kind of what's keeping you busy.
Things are going pretty well. Lots of travel with McDonald's, Nike Hoop Summit, Canada basketball stuff. So been staying really busy, but super cool opportunities and like been super excited to be a part of all of them. So it's going good.
Awesome. And then so just for the listeners and everyone that's curious, like where's sort of the tie and connection to Canada? Like I know your mom's from Canada. Just kind of where's everyone located for family there?
My mom grew up in British Columbia in a really small town called Salmo, and
Yeah.
then she moved to the States to go to school and play basketball in college. And that's still where my grandparents live today. So like I go back pretty often to visit them. So yeah.
Nice. We love it. I know. I think you're going to be a key piece for the program down the road, especially part of that age group alongside a lot of the young women that were at the Hoop Summit with you. So that's super cool to see. I imagine you're getting a lot of training in right now and just kind of getting ready for the summer, and then obviously your season at USC. How do you feel about just kind of where your training and your game is at right now?
I feel really good. I mean, I've been putting in a lot of work, and honestly, the past experiences that I've had, like with McDonald's, Nike Hoop Summit, and stuff, have kind of just like exposed me to the level that I'm at and where I want to be for starting or like being at USC next year and like on the Canadian rosters. So I think since I've been home, I've just been pushing myself really hard. And up until I leave for summer events, that's kind of the plan.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we know we're going to keep it going, and just for people that may not maybe know your game and just kind of your style, like how would you tell our listeners, kind of what your game is about and your style and just what you bring to the floor?
I mean, I would say I'm probably like a 2-3. I love to shoot the ball.
Nice,
That's probably my best part of my game is shooting threes. But I'm really aggressive, vocal leader on the floor, super, super competitive, like so competitive. It's insane. I always want to win, team player. So, yeah.
love it, love it. And then just like the experiences you've had recently, like you mentioned, just it comes at you fast. I was seeing like yourself and shoot, like even Delaney and Toby and others just kind of doing these events like really quickly in a short period of time. Like, how do you, try to manage that? You're finishing up your school year, all these events are on your calendar. Like, how do you personally, like, how do you approach that and just kind of stay locked in and push through and then obviously try to be successful with it too. It's one thing to do the events and showcases and participate, but you want to play well and you want to have success. How do you approach it and kind of balance it out, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely like obviously with school, communicating with my teachers before I left and like doing schoolwork while I'm out of town or traveling, especially if it's like a longer travel day. That
Right.
was huge for staying on top of classes. I have like 2 more weeks left, so I'm almost done, but just like trying to just communicate through it with like school stuff. And then I think one of the main things was at these big events there's a lot of like publicity and cameras, especially at McDonald's, kind of just like keeping the main thing for me because like there's a lot of outside distractions and stuff with these camps that we all get invited to. So I think just like we're there to compete, we're there to showcase ourselves and show what how good we are and like all this, but it's like just keeping the main thing I think was one of the biggest things that I was trying to keep my mind on while I was at those events.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, that's a great approach. I think in any situation in life, if you have that approach, you're gonna have success. I know, your mom played, and the game is probably a family affair. Just talk about how you started loving the game and wanting to play yourself, and just started to put the work in. Just to tell us how the game came into your life, and then maybe if you played other sports as well.
Yeah, so I grew up playing soccer and basketball, very both of them at a pretty high level, but soccer was my favorite, like all growing up. But I also just kind of I have an older brother. He's 3 years older than me, and he was playing soccer and basketball as well. So I was just kind of doing whatever he was doing. He's outside playing basketball. I was gonna go play basketball. Um, and then as soon as it's getting to the point where I was like training outside of my like club sports or like outside of my team practices, I never wanted to for soccer and I always wanted to for basketball, which kind of made the split pretty clear that like if I don't really want to put in work for soccer, like that's probably not the sport that I'm gonna end up wanting to do in the long run.
Right.
So I quit playing soccer my 10th grade year of so I played it for a while, but I quit playing it in my 10th grade year, and then that was when I just dove into basketball. But um, I would probably say that over quarantine was like the biggest change in basketball for me. That's like obviously we're not allowed to go to school. Like I was at home most of the time, but there's like a gym called T3 Sport. It's near my house, and it's basically just like a there's two basketball courts and there's a lifting area upstairs. And me and my brother would go there and do our online school at the gym, and we would just go shoot in between classes, before school, after school, all day. And I kind of think I don't really know what made me start to love it, but I just like had this like huge passion for the game, love for the game, and that's basically when it kickstarted. And since then, I've like just been so into it. So
No, that's cool. I mean, you took advantage of the situation and, sort of embraced the work, right? And you've set yourself up to a good spot now where you're gonna keep playing at the next level, right? I'm wondering, like, who's a player, a player you like right now that, or as you even started loving the game that you watch and you like their game and you think, man, they're nice. Like I like them a lot. Is anybody that you kind of maybe try to pattern things after right now?
definitely Caitlin Clark, just the range she has, the like creating her own shot, just all of like the threes that she can get off. But then at the same time, like she's such a threat from the 3 point line that other things open up on the court for her. And she knows that she has other parts to her game. So I've been watching a lot of her as much as I can. But yeah, definitely her.
Yeah, she's awesome. I mean, she just kind of, not kind of, she had her debut last night, and it looks like she's going to take the W over by storm, which is, super cool. It's the next level. And, man, she's captivating. I loved watching her through, her time at Iowa as well. So I
Hmm.
think probably for a lot of the women that join us throughout the podcast, I mean, Caitlin's probably going to be a player a lot of people reference, right? And,
Hmm.
you got a bit of just from seeing some of your game. I feel like you got a little Kia nurse in your game too, which is cool too. So that's I just wanted to mention that. But I know you committed to USC. Start your season coming up this fall. Just talk about your process for recruiting. What that looked like, and who you considered, and maybe narrowed it down to until you really made the decision to go there, and just the overall process, because it can be a busy time and it's an important time for a young person. Just tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my process was kind of a little bit different than like everyone else's just because it came on pretty late in my opinion. Like I had my I think it was my junior year of club basketball, so it was like my second to last year of being able to play club. I kind of went in like not really with expectations, but like I kind of thought that I was going to get some of my like schools that I was really wanting to go to, some like more dream schools, like Power 5 schools, and that didn't happen. And I kind of left that summer a little bit disappointed. Not like discouraged, but just like kind of disappointed that whatever I was showing wasn't enough for an offer, which I thought was the most important thing at the time. And then like I kind of went into grind mode through that entire like I guess it's the high school season, my whole high school season, and then like the off season before my last year of club, and then that last year of club basketball, I was a completely different player from one summer to the next. All the Power 5 schools started rolling in like all at once. It was probably one of the most overwhelming times of my life.
Yeah.
And looking back on it, I wish I would have like tried to like understand how cool of an experience. Obviously, it's stressful, but like now looking back at it, I'm like that was freaking cool. That was like a cool experience to have a bunch of schools reaching out and all of it. But um, like it was a really busy time, and it was just like after every tournament I would get phone calls and really busy, and then after the all of our summer tournaments my last year, I narrowed it down to 5 schools. It was Duke, UW, Utah, Indiana, and USC.
Okay.
And I took official visits to Duke, and then I went to Utah, and then I went to UW, and then USC, and then I had one scheduled with Indiana. I don't know if this, but I had one scheduled for Indiana, and I just after I went to USC, I was like, this is where I want to be.
Right.
I loved it there. Connection with Lindsay, the head coach, the players. I've always had a dream of living in California and going to school in California. I didn't know if it was going to be for soccer and basketball when I was younger, but
Right.
just always had a place for being in LA near the beach. And then I went there and it was just like when you everyone says when you know, and I went there and I was like, yeah, I know.
Ah, that's cool. I mean, listen, you had some great schools to consider, no question, and probably I would imagine you tried to stay a little bit in the West too, and that's a factor. But you mentioned Lindsay that she's really put the program back on the map, and obviously there's some amazing players there, and they've got some more transfers coming in that I think there's big expectations for you and the Trojans this season. I know for sure you guys will be gunning for that number one spot, and have a real good shot at it, and will do damage in the tournament. Like what have Lindsay and the rest of the coaches told you about what they see for you on the team and the program and just your role, and what do they anticipate you bringing, uh, you know, to the Trojans to help them win, and obviously you want some success for yourself as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think that obviously they see me as like a shooting guard on the floor, kind of a 2-3 role, which I'm excited about because that's what I want to do. But I also think it's like I'm strong enough with the ball that like if I get it off of a rebound, I could push the ball up the court. Like we don't need to outlet it to our designated one or whoever the point guard is. I mean,
Right.
if we're trying to run a set, obviously, but like I'm tall enough, I'm strong enough with the ball to just bring it up the court. So I think just having that role, and then I also feel like I'm sort of just like a natural leader. Obviously, going in as a freshman, that's not like you're not normally the like like the super like senior leader on the team, but I feel like kind of just how I play sort of has a leadership to itself. So I feel like I'll bring that in. But I'm honestly not really going in with that many expectations just because they just got 2 new um transfers, and like we have 7 incoming freshmen, so 9 new players coming in this year. So there's just a lot of moving pieces that I think everyone's still trying to figure out, and like the adjustments that are going to need to be made for next year. But I'm definitely like I want to be starting next year, like some personal goals like that.
For sure.
But at the same time, like I'll serve the team in any way for us to be successful and win. So
Yeah, I think the team is in line for a big season. Like I was reading an article yesterday, kind of getting ready for our conversation, and there's going to be a lot of depth on the team because your freshman class incoming is very good. You know that, and deep, and um, I think there's going to be a great season ahead for you and the team. So I know we'll be watching that, I just wanted to ask you, you're going to enter, and play Div 1 basketball, and the attention and the focus that has come to the women's game now in the last couple of years with the likes of Caitlin and others. Like, when you watch that, and I'm sure that motivated you a lot, finishing up your high school and club career, but knowing that you're going to be a part of that, and just this uh, rise in support and attention, and it's well deserved for the women's game. We all know that. Um, like, how do you feel about that? You watch the March Madness tournament. There's a good chance you're going to be a part of that. Um, like, how does that motivate you and excite you, and just knowing like this is going to be a super great experience?
I mean, the hype around women's basketball, especially in college right now, I mean, now in the WNBA too, because some of the greatest just went to there. But
Right.
um, I think it's super cool, and I think that probably couldn't be going into college at a better time, like
For
just for the
sure.
publicity and like the social aspects and just the coverage and just the overall attention that's on right now. I seriously couldn't be more happy to be going into college this year. And just like what that's going to be like and about. And I'm hoping that next year it's even more. Like I'm hoping there's even more publicity and attention on us because I think that it deserves to have that attention. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and I just know, like, I was looking at, um, with, say, the group you were with at the Nike Hoop Summit, and you all are going to great schools and great programs, and for, I'll call you a Canadian, right, for the conversation, and obviously, because you are, but it's cool. You're going to be an impact player at a program like USC, and Toby's going to Duke, and there's big expectations, and I know Sila's got big expectations at Michigan, and so on, right? So I just think, from the Canada basketball side, and our listeners and myself, like, that's to see you all enter together and play at big time programs, and contribute is super cool. That's a special thing, and I know everyone's really excited about that. I wanted to ask you about the Canada basketball stuff. That's what we like to talk about here on the podcast. I know you're looking to play for the program for more or less the first time this summer, and um, there's some opportunities coming your way. Like, what does that mean to you to be able to represent the red and white and your family and the program? Like, just give us your thoughts on that.
I mean, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
I think playing for your country, especially since I'm a dual citizen, obviously I chose to play for Canada, and I think that it means something to me. It's the country that I wanted to play for. It's where my mom was born and raised. My grandparents live there. I go and visit a lot. I think it's really cool, and I'm excited to be a part of it. Basically, for the first time this summer, I've been to a couple of camps, but
Right.
hopefully, be putting on a uniform for Canada this summer and representing them. It means a lot to me, and I'm really excited.
What were the conversations like with the other women there, and at Nike Hoop Summit? And I think about Sila, who's played a lot for the program already and has a lot of run with the senior women's national team. Was that your first time getting to know them? Like, did you have prior relationships, and just what are the conversations like? Because I know when, I've talked to Sila and Jasmine because they've joined us, and I think Delaney's going to do that at some point. Like, and people that follow the program, like, there's always been a discussion about how special this group is and this age group, where you all will be big time pieces for the program for years to come. Like, just talk about the relationship with them and getting to know them, and just the conversations and maybe what they've told you, like what playing for the program is kind of all about.
I mean, they're great people. Like they're
Right.
all super great. I met Sila for the first time at McDonald's. She was on the other team, but like we were all hanging out a bunch. And then all of them, I met everyone else at the Nike Hoop Summit. Obviously, I'd like kind of heard of Toby, and I've also heard of Delaney because I knew she committed to BYU. I've had a couple friends go to BYU and play basketball there, so I knew about her. But
Right.
like met Toby, Delaney, and Jazz all for the first time at Nike Hoop Summit. And then already kind of knew Sila, but I think they were all like really excited that like they found out because Toby didn't know I was Canadian. I don't think Delaney knew until I was there, like representing Canada. So I think
Cool.
they were all kind of excited, which just, I mean, like, they were super welcoming and like embracing of like me being Canadian and like potentially playing on them in the future for Team Canada, and all of it. So I mean, I'm excited to play with them. Like I said, they're super good people, fun to be around, fun to hang out with, and honestly, playing with them was so much fun. Like being on the court with them, the connection that we all kind of had. Like Toby said it in an interview after the game. She was like, we had like that Canadian connection, and like it's like funny to say, but like it kind of did feel like that, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I remember there was a picture posted during the summit, and it was you all as players, Carly Clark there as well, a guest of ours as well. Um, and I just remember, I think I might have commented on it where it was like, we're gonna look at this picture, 20 years from now or whatever, and just kind of talk about, the careers you all have had, and I have no doubt it's going to be successful. I just thought it was a really cool picture, almost like an iconic moment. When we started looking at Canada basketball and the people that are going to play for the program. So it was super cool to see you there. And speaking of Carly, like I wanted to ask you about playing for her because she's, a great coach in our opinion and has ties and connections throughout Canada basketball. Like it's hard to find a women's player that Carly hasn't coached or hasn't had a connection with, whether it's a senior women's or U19. And like her imprint is really all over the program. So I just want to ask you about what you liked about playing for Carly and just her approach and, having her as the head coach there.
I mean, I loved getting to know her. Obviously, that was my first time with her coaching me.
Yeah.
But loved it. She's really competitive. She's also like kind of intense with like her expectations, but also loving and like isn't gonna like bite your head off like as a coach. Like,
Yeah.
but like she also does have high expectations, which is really good. And like I think our team was really successful because of that. Fun atmosphere. Honestly, I loved her as my coach, so hopefully she can coach me again because that was awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. And, we're big fans of hers, right? And, she's just done so much for the program and,
Hmm.
revered. And it seems like she always steps up if it's an age group that needs a coach. And obviously, she's an assistant for Victor LaPena for the senior women's, and so super impactful and, doesn't get enough recognition. I'm wondering when you look at Canada basketball, Avery, and you see the program and the amount of people that have played for it, um, is there somebody that's played for the program that you look at and they're like, wow, I'd love to be a teammate with them and run alongside them and get time with them? Is there anybody that comes to mind?
I mean, to be completely honest, I haven't like followed Canada basketball a ton
Okay,
up until like now, but I mean, I know Kia Nurse, like I know of her, and like I've seen some clips and stuff.
right,
And then also Aaliyah Edwards,
yeah.
obviously followed her a bit, but um, yeah.
I know I got you. Yeah, no, it's there's been some great players, right? And
Hmm.
Aaliyah's set to have a good year in the W, I'm sure, and I think she's going to be counted on big time here in the Olympics as well. And Kia's that veteran, and like on a lot of the broadcasts here in Canada, especially like Kia does a lot of the Raptors games, right? And so she's everywhere in the off season and such a great ambassador for the program and the game. So uh, it's cool that you might potentially be a teammate with her one day, right? And like I said,
Yeah.
I see a little bit of Kia's game in your game and vice versa, right? So
Yes.
all right, well, I was going to ask you about a top five of Canadian players, but I don't know. Can you do that for me?
I mean,
Or
I just
or a
was
favorite five? You can be like favorite players.
um I
You
don't
could
know.
throw
I mean,
throw yourself in there if you want.
oh, can it be like
Could be anybody.
like um I mean, Kia Nurse, Aaliyah Edwards,
Well,
I'll
they need a
throw
point guard.
myself.
Yeah, they need a
Oh,
point guard, right? Put yourself in there.
I'll put my okay. Well, yeah, myself. Um,
You
I'll
know
put
who?
Jazz as the point guard.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Um, what position am I missing?
Oh, you could have like a wing or another shooter,
I'll put
or
Sila
yeah, yeah, that's a great
or
five.
Toby or Delaney. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Listen, they're gonna be. You guys are gonna be big time players, no doubt, for the program. And um, you know, we've watched Sila play on the senior women's team, and I know Jazz has gone to camp with them, and same with Toby, right? So the program does a good job of bringing a lot of young players in to kind of mix and practice and do camp with the vets, and that's what the women's program has done a great job of doing that right throughout the history, and you're going to start to see that where they speak a lot about the commitment and the sacrifice to the program, and always trying to play no matter what, even after long pro seasons or college seasons, right? So you're gonna experience that real quick for sure. I wanted to ask you, um, if you get like an opportunity this summer with the red and white, like, um, you know, there's going to be a lot of pride with the name on the front for the country, no doubt. But I've always asked guests too, like, what's the conversation been like with mom in terms of like, you know, uh, the family discussions, like where the name's going to be on the back and playing for the nation that way. Like, what's that topic and discussion been like with your family?
I mean, both my parents like super proud of me, especially with like what I'm gonna be doing at USC next year and just kind of like all of the accolades. Sort of, they've just been super supportive, helped me honestly get there. I think for my mom, especially because she's the one that's Canadian,
Yeah,
it means a lot for her, especially because she played basketball. And then even for my grandparents, especially my grandpa, like they still live in British Columbia now. Means a lot to him. They've
for
been there
sure.
for a long time. And like he's super proud of me, super supportive. But like, I think that it's like really important. It's obviously important to all of us, but like especially them. It's honestly super cool, and like having conversations with him about it, like he's really excited for me to be representing Canada and hopefully in their uniform soon. So
Yeah, no doubt. Well, if he has to listen to this, we'll shout Grandpa out, and hopefully he enjoys that time. Seeing you play for the program. Avery, any shout outs or thank yous before I get you out of here? And again, we appreciate it and looking forward to supporting you down the road and seeing you play for Canada.
yeah, thank you. I mean, just thank you to everyone who's helped me get to this point and the connections that my club, all of my people that have helped me, like all the connections they have to get me to where I am now. Some college coaches that have helped me connect with Canada and like help me get to be a part of this. Club coaches who are in the gym with me every day, my family. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, we want to wish you all the best and continued success. Hopefully, with Canada basketball in the future, and obviously, of course, at USC this season and beyond. And thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a wrap on another episode of Canada Hoops. I want to thank Avery Howell for pulling up. Thank you for listening. Remember to rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. Keep supporting Canada basketball and our Canadian Hoopers, and we will see you on the next episode.